tools you use for the Proddy mats just have a point. You don't need the hook, you're not going to loop something and pull something through. You just need something with the point, and years ago they would use keys or pegs, because that's another name for them, peg rugs, because they would chop off one of the legs off the dolly peg and whittle the other bit down to a point and use the pegs. But of course we have these fancy ones made for us because we love the feel of them in our hands. That's a brass-ended one, and that's just a little wooden one, two different ones that we make. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show you how to cut the fabric, because it's different to the hooky mats. These are little pieces of fabric that are going in from the back. That's a wreath I've made out of a tartan kilt. These are all little pieces. The tradition is to cut a piece 1/2 inch by about 2 inches, because years ago everybody in the Dale would use a matchbox as a template. But it's very, very tedious to cut up all these hundreds of little pieces using the matchbox as the template. So once again, we are just moving onto the cutting board. So I'm just going to roughly guess 1/2 inch in width. You know, there's no hard and fast rules with this game. You can cut them any size you want, but this is just traditional to the Yorkshire Dales. It was how I was taught how to do it up here. So I've cut them at 1/2 inch. And then I just quickly turn my board round, and I've got my measurements on my ruler, so I can go 2 inches and move along 2 inches. We do have a little bit of waste here. Right, and there's all your little pieces very, very quickly cut. I've got my prodder and I've got my little piece that's been cut ready for me, and I take it to the surface and I push it through. I've got one hand underneath, so I just keep that hand underneath and I can feel for it and I can pull it through. I get my next little piece and I lead it to the same little spot. In it goes, and I just flip it over, flip it over. I love my tools and I just love playing with them, so I use the tool to pick the little pieces up. You see how you need the backing held taut for you for this. You couldn't do this really without a frame. So I'm just moving across the surface. Another piece here. Another hole. Flip it over. There you are. And remember, this is the back. And that's the right side, and there's your little shaggy pile there, and it's lovely to walk on in your bare feet. The stretcher frames are usually 4 pieces of wood together, and it's stitched in both ends and it's stretched tight, and the pegs go in the side and the rug is held tight. This actually piece is a combination of hooky and Proddy. You can have all different sizes of frames, from really great big ones to tiny, tiny little ones. You see, you've got your 2 pieces here, and you'd have a little piece stitched in here, and then you put your stretchers in the side, and you can just work in that area there.